Hello everyone, today's video is a little bit different, but I hope you like it. A while ago, I introduced a segment to my blog called Smackdown, where I review and showcase a bunch of brands within a particular category. So whether that be brow smackdown or under eye concealer smackdown, I think it's a great way for you guys to really gauge what's on the market. And it was very well received on my blog, so we're just going to take it and introduce it to the YouTube channel. So today will be the Under Eye Concealer Smackdown number 2. If you want to read number 1, it is on my blog and you should check it out. But for today, we have a bunch of brands from Dior to Clinique to Maybelline. The first contender is the NARS Creamy Concealer, and I must admit, I don't see the incredible hype over this one. My first problem was with the shade range. I have the shade Custard, which is a little bit too dark and a little bit too golden for my NC20 skin. Otherwise, it offers a really versatile medium to full coverage with a satin finish, which sounds perfect, right? I just couldn't achieve a skin-like finish with this one. It looked dry and at times cakey, and occasionally it would even crease. If I tried to apply some at the outer corners of the eye to maybe conceal some redness, by midday it looked as though I had aged 15 years. At a pinch, I could use Custard around my nose, and yeah, it really did conceal my redness, but it just sort of sat on top of my skin inelegantly, and it always looked kind of makeup-y. Additionally, I think that the NARS Creamy Concealer bears a very strong resemblance to the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer, or at least in my experience, and the latter is far more affordable. On that note, the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer, again, this is not a great shade match for me. I have 20 sand, but we'll just put that aside for the moment. I actually prefer this to the NARS Creamy Concealer. It doesn't have as much coverage and it doesn't look as heavy, but it does emphasize fine lines if you happen to be, you know, human. That being said, if you've been wanting to try the NARS Creamy Concealer but you're not quite ready to shell out the cash, try this first. It is a fantastic substitute. Carrying on, the Maybelline Age Rewind Concealer. The consistency of this concealer is gorgeous. It's very thin and easy to blend, very forgiving on fine lines, and it really sits close to the skin as opposed to sitting awkwardly on top. The coverage is rather minimal. I would foresee that this would be ideal for those of you who don't have much discoloration under the eyes and you just want to illuminate the hollows and the shadowy areas. So much illumination, in fact, that I feel as though this concealer can quickly veer into reverse panda territory, where the under eye stands apart from the face and counterintuitively makes you look a little bit tired. I've actually repurposed this one for facial highlighting. It is beautiful on the high points of the face if you want a bit of a highlight but you don't want shimmer. And it's very buildable. You can layer it as much as you like, really, and it never gets cakey, so I love it for that purpose. Next is the Maybelline Dream Lumi. I did not realize that this video was so Maybelline heavy, totally unintentional. This is similar to the Age Rewind in the sense that it offers beams of illumination, but this one does offer a little bit more coverage. I tend to confine placement just in the innermost corners of the eyes. Again, I feel as though that radiance can overwhelm my face a bit, but if you're very pale, you might fare better. This one didn't look dry under my eyes and it didn't crease, so I would say that it's a great drugstore option for every day if you can find a shade match. If I'm doing quite a heavy eye, I tend to prefer something with a little bit more of a meatier coverage. Diorskin Nude Concealer. I was on the hunt for something quite emollient to diversify my concealer smackdown. In hindsight, it's probably not the best for under eyes because the coverage is quite sheer and the emollients makes it prone to creasing under the eyes. Then I discovered something phenomenal. I tried it on my nose and holy moly, where have you been all my life? It is near impossible to find a concealer that resists cakiness around the crevice of the nose, but this offers a really skin-like finish while adequately blurring any redness that I may have around the nostrils and such. Bonus, it actually glosses over flakiness like Photoshop, but this is real life. It is my #1 pick for concealing textured areas or peeling skin. I just couldn't be without it now. There is one downside, and it's a significant one at that. There are only 3 shades in the selection, so I'm willing to work around it because damn, this is one of my best discoveries of 2014. Makeup Forever Full Cover Concealers. I do not think that these are intended for under the eyes, but ho hey, I will try anything. As the name suggests, they do offer quite a full coverage that requires a lot of patting and blending and maneuvering to sufficiently sheer the product out, which is kind of a hassle and it's not ideal for rush mornings. The texture is also unusual. It's a bit sticky, so you have to really set the product with a generous dusting of powder. Otherwise, it becomes a magnet for all your eyeshadow fallout. As the day progressed, I found my under eye area just looked drier and drier and drier. I also found that the product would kind of separate and crack around the tear duct. Nah, next. Ellis Faas Concealer. Out of this installment of Under Eye Concealer Smackdown, the Ellis Faas proved to be the most reliable option, and I reach for this one most on an everyday basis. I do like the Ellis Faas shades. They're not excessively peachy or excessively yellow, so I find that they do work with a vast array of skin tones. The formula is also a good medium. It's creamy, but it settles to a satin finish. It's very easy to blend with a finger, and I didn't find that I had issues with creasing. The coverage I think will satisfy most people. If you have moderate to severe circles, you might want a little bit more. And if I'm going for a black smoky eye, I generally want a little bit more. I do like it, I really do. Is it perfect? It can look a little bit worse for wear. At the end of the day, I guess that's to be expected. I'm a fussy bugger, aren't I? Clinique Airbrush Concealer. I had such high hopes for this because it appears to be a reoccurring theme in Lisa Eldridge's videos. Oh, I was quite disappointed. If you apply it sparingly, it's fine. It offers a sheer coverage that's good for every day. If you have moderate to severe circles and you like to kind of layer and build your concealers, this does not layer well. I tried to add a little bit more coverage and my eye area just looked dry like the Sahara. Yeah, it's a bit of a pity. I did like that this one wasn't too illuminating. I do predict that this will fare better on oilier skin types where the natural oils can combat the drier texture of this concealer. So that is today's offerings. Here are some contenders for the next Under Eye Concealer Smackdown. The Visite Concealer Palette. I purchased this at IMATS this year and I just thought it looked really interesting. It has a few correctors in there. Also, the Shiseido Natural Finish Cream Concealer. I actually haven't tried this, so it's still in the box. Also, the By Terry Touche Veloute. I used to adore this concealer and then it just stopped working for me, but I'm going to give it one more go. Did you guys enjoy the Smackdown segment thingy? If you did, then let me know what you'd like to see in the next Smackdown. I'm thinking maybe eyeshadow palettes or maybe face powders. Let me know all your thoughts in the comments section below. Make sure that you also subscribe so that you don't miss any of my future videos. I hope you guys will have a wonderful day and I will speak to you very soon. Bye bye.